All right, guys, so here's the deal. We are on the last fragrance out of 20 samples from the house of Etat Libre, and this one apparently is a sweet unisex leather fragrance. So you're going to want to strap up as we bring this one to a close because we're going for that ride. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. Today from the house of Etat Libre, we have Divin'Enfant. Not infant, enfant. This is classified as a leather unisex fragrance, has a 3.8 out of 5 with 3,000 votes, launched in 2006. And without further ado, let's bring this to a close. I'm going to do 3 sprays just to be generous, especially since it's the last hoorah with this house. We're going to give that a second to dry down. Is there any story to this? A child can either charm or annoy us with the same ruthlessness. A child can be irresistible with his angel sweet smile, but he also knows how to drive us crazy. Under the angel, the faked innocence of a demon. After the gentle top note. Okay, now they're getting into notes. All right, so... Okay, enfant might mean infant in French, probably. So Divin'Enfant. Someone correct me in the chat below. Interesting concept. I'm all for it. Again, if you guys just are looking for a good time, I got this for like 20, 25 bucks. Comes with probably the most samples I've ever seen. We're going to go ahead and add these last 2 back to the chamber. I'm not applying these fragrances to test strip anymore because they change so much. So we're just going to apply them to skin. So take that with a grain of salt on your skin chemistry. It might do a little bit different. This is just about getting you some healthy information. So this scent screams off the skin. I get a kind of rough earthiness with a beautiful, sweet kind of orchid floral style. It's a very sharp, dark fresh floral orchidy sweet thing going on, and then under it feels like something harsh, not harsh, just like texturally. It's a smooth scent, but it's a very unique smell. Let's go ahead and switch screens here. Marshmallow. I get more of this African orange flower, to be honest. This flowery tobacco thing going on. But then I also get a lot of great beauty from looking at these notes. You would look at tobacco, leather, musk, coffee, tonka bean, amber, and you'd think this is a quite mature fragrance, a kind of dark fragrance, a harsh fragrance. No, this is very much on this marshmallowy flower side. The marshmallow is providing the sweetness, but I don't smell marshmallows at all. This is mostly this orange flower thing. I think this is like a 70-30. It's 70% a kind of white flower, slightly sweet experience with 30% of a kind of slightly harsh tobacco leather thing. You know, the tobacco leather coffee tonka thing is kind of just combined. I don't really get them isolated in the scent profile. This smells like a very natural, very green, rough, earthy, but super white, light floral type of thing. It's an interesting concept. I don't know how I feel about it. Like there's no immediate kind of mass appeal draw to it, but it doesn't feel so unique it's out of reach. I imagine this gets pretty 6+ hour performance. I don't recognize any of the scents that it's pushing me to other than the floral marshmallow from Dossier. I see a Givenchy right here. Yeah, none of these I can really speak to. What have been some of the comments to this fragrance? White floral tobacco with a hint of coffee musk. Kind of synthetic, but unique and interesting. That's exactly how I feel. Sort of soapy, clean, with fresh energy, but also warm and faint. Very odd. That was a dead perfect description. I literally could close the video right now. I think this is dead on. Artisanal vanilla bean marshmallows. I get a cocoa powder too, and I'm surprised more reviews don't mention chocolate. I don't get chocolate. That's why you don't get reviews like that. I don't get a baby powder, but I get a powder like the dust in a bag of marshmallows. I do too. In fact, that's what it is. It's not marshmallows. It's the dust in the pack from the marshmallows. There's a definite musk undercurrent, and I get the tobacco, but in a good way. The darker notes help to balance out the sweet, so it's cozy. I agree with that. This is really good sillage or sillage. My roommate smelled it from the hallway and thought I lit an incense. As it dries, it also takes on a soapy aspect, which makes it a little bit more subtle and wearable. Interesting balance of fruit and smoke. Weird, but I like it. 6 out of 10. Man, I gotta say, normally you take Fragrantica with a grain of salt, but I'm on board with all these reviews. It's odd, it's unique, but it's got a fresh, bright modernness to it for a weirdo type of scent. I do think it has the tiniest feminine lean, but I'm calling this dead perfect unisex. You can get a 50 mil of this for $60. Oh, you can actually get 100 mil of it for $70. Okay, one of the cheaper fragrances I've seen. It retails at $170, but it's discounted to $70. So you're going to pay 60 for a 50 ml or 70 for a 100 mil. Pretty obvious choice, right? I'm calling slight breeze kind of weather, fall, but anywhere where there's a slight breeze, sun's out, but slight breeze, maybe a little wind under this would make it quite nice. I think this is a signature upscale casual scent for breezy weather. It's just kind of one of these unique things that you pull out every now and again where it's mass appeal enough to not throw people off, but it'll neck turn. It'll be like, oh, wait a second. What the heck's in the air, Which isn't always a good thing, but it does have a soapy element to it as it dries down, which is why I think it could get attention. I just don't know if it's good or bad attention. Sprays on this, I would be quite light because it feels somewhat projective. I don't think you're going to get more than about 4 to 6 hours with something like this, but it's going to be a good time. As a scent, I really give this a 6, but for people who like intriguing scents, it's a very 7 average weirdo kind of scent. I'm only doing like 3-4 sprays of this. Ignore the note pyramid. You have to put your nose on this because looking at the note pyramid, I can tell you guys would never predict what you're going to smell when you smell this. But the good news is it's so affordable that if you like it, it's one of the cheaper fragrances from the lineup. Alternatives to this, I mean, it pushes me masculine territory like this, but way better and way different, but still a similar kind of floral with a earthy bite is going to be like Baranda from Nasamato. On the women's side, this is quite nice. I don't know if I'd recommend an alternative for this style because you rarely can get a tobacco coffee scent that feels this floral for women, I feel. Yeah, this is just unique, guys. This is just very unique. I don't even know the alternatives, to be honest, to push women into. Let me check Fragrantica one last time. This is almost like, this is like a beautiful orchid bouquet or garden. No, a beautiful orchid white flower garden, and a girl is just having a light, airy smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like she's smoking a cigarette out in a beautiful garden. And so you get this kind of light roughness in the back, but a mostly floral, airy, oxygenated floral celebration in the air. But there's just this little background breeze of, not a strong cigarette, like a very light, natural leaf cigarette or something that either she rolled or like one of those Indian cigarettes or whatever. Or Native American cigarettes, I think it is. I don't know the name of cigarettes. I don't smoke, but yeah, it's an intriguing. I know, ladies, this is probably gonna be something way down your list. But if you're a quirky kind of girl that likes weirdo, and weirdo's not a negative term in my mind, kind of like oddball signatures with some beauty, like beautifully quirky type of scents, even in a very odd way. This pushes me toward like Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Kirky, not Kirke from Tiziano Terenzi, but Kirky, Kirky, because that's kind of got a soap bathwatery kind of thing going. It pushes me over there, but it's more orchidy floral than that. So if you've smelled Kirky, you might be into this. Anyways, guys, is there anything I left out of this review? Yeah, we went over the score as well. Age-wise for my ladies, honestly, I think it's ageless. I don't think this is a men's scent, even though it's marketed unisex. All ages women. In fact, I say that because there's a lot of younger women. You know, when you're young, you're more vibrant and quirky, likely to be more confidently quirky because like no one's going to call you out on it and you haven't been living with it for long enough. So that's why I think a lot of like young women might be into this who have that personality, but even older women I think would be into this as well. But anyways, guys, this was the last scent from the Discovery Kit. This is Divin'Enfant. And it's interesting, like going back to the title of kind of the juxtaposition of the beauty, angelicness of a child and the rough edge of it. It is a concept that connects the scent to the title and story. However, the part where I'm kind of lost is using tobacco as kind of the juxtaposition, because that takes it out of the infant type of thing. Like for a roughness, maybe stay with the earthiness from coffee or something. But even then, I feel like coffee and tobacco kind of just immediately take it out of infant thinking. But anyways, I think it's a decent scent. And it's got a good bit of sweetness, like 4 or 5 out of 10. Divin'Enfant from Etat Libre. And let's just go ahead and wrap up here. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. Have you guys tried this fragrance? Maybe since we've wrapped up, let me know if you own a bottle from Etat Libre, because they've got some really cool bottles. Let me know which fragrances you own or which fragrances you've been curious about. And just so you know, at this point, we've reviewed probably about 23 scents from the house. So at the time of this release, if you want to know my thoughts or reviews of any of the previous scents from the Discovery set, go to the playlists or the video section of my YouTube page and just search the title name of any of the fragrances. My reviews will come up and you're off to the races. I gotta go, but feel free to stick around. I'm gonna throw 2 videos up that you might be interested in based off what you've been searching for. And I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week. And I look forward to bringing you guys some new fragrances to put your nose on. Love you guys. Take care.